Hey guys, Philosopher here, and I have my friends MobileGamer and ValleyFlyin here as well. And we're here to talk about this interview that we had yesterday that got posted on my channel with Cerebro. And I think we actually learned some stuff from it. We learned a lot of things. Maybe some things about Cerebro we didn't want to learn, but some things that about the game. I want to start with the game stuff. Then we can also maybe talk about what we learned about what the developers know and don't know, because that was maybe some of the craziest stuff in this. But I actually thought there was some actual news from this that I thought was interesting. Like, one thing that really was a little surprising to me is we're not getting ISO 4 or 5 blue anytime soon, right? I mean, what is that? What do you make of that, and how is that impacting what you do, Mobile Gamer, with your characters?
Oh, hey, Philosopher. Mobile Gamer here. Hi. Okay, so here's the thing. It's very clear to me that Doom 2 is going to be a different problem. It was nice to know that ISO 4 and 5 is on the way out. So how did this impact me today? And we talked about this a little bit before the video. I am saving all of my blue ISOs right now. I've took my arena team to ISO 3, and I feel like my alliance is getting, through, we've 100%ed difficulty 1.1. We can't do it every day, but we're getting 80%, which is an accomplishment, right? And
Right.
I don't feel that upgrading any of my current characters anymore is going to help at all. So I've stopped using ISO 8 blue, and I'm saving the resources. And I'll give you an example where I did spend, and I actually spent a little bit this morning, but I'm saving all of it because I don't think that the symbiotes are going to be a part of the solution to Doom 2. Realistically, right? That's just a gut feeling. So why do I want to dump resources into symbiotes? They're kind of struggling a little bit right now in Doom difficulty 1.1. So like today I loaded up the node, and it was super frustrating. Captain Marvel just one-shotted my Antivenom, which she does that to usually one character every time, right? When you go into that first node, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? When the Captain
Yes.
Marvel, and then there's a Ms.
Every
Marvel
time.
assisting. You usually lose a Scream or a symbiote. You lose somebody, right?
Pretty
But not
much.
Antivenom. And if you lose Antivenom, you basically have to reset the node. And so I had been saving and saving and saving, and I opened up a couple orbs this morning, and to take Antivenom to blue ISO 2. And that's it. I'm not doing anything else. All those orbs are getting saved until I know what are going to be absolutely vital, because it's very clear that Secret Avengers is the superior skill team, right? But I was getting through that without them, and I don't think that's going to be the case for Doom. And there's a lot of situations of things that worked in the OG difficulty of the Doom raids that did not work in difficulty 1, and it was different characters, right? And so
Right.
I have to be efficient with my resources, because I have a limited budget and limited amount of resources. So I'm saving, and I'm waiting to see what that is, and I'm leaning on some of the heavy spenders to show me the way.
Well, it's interesting. I'm gonna ask you as a follow up, Mobile Gamer. Other than Anti Venom, which characters have you brought up to ISO 3 blue?
Infinity Watch.
And that's it.
Doom, Kestrel, Silver Surfer. That's it.
Wow. So I will just say myself, I've been bringing up a lot of characters. We've been doing 100% since the beginning. I've been bringing up all these characters because I'm like, at a certain point, I didn't like one of my symbiotes dying every time. So my symbiotes often don't die on that one shot because they're all ISO 3 now. And it saves me a heal sometimes, right? I don't know. It just makes it go faster. I was timing out. It was annoying me. I was coring for energy. So screw the timeouts. I'll just put them all at ISO blue 3. But it's only because I'm getting so much ISO blue that I feel comfortable doing that. If I wasn't, then I will be hoarding like you are, and probably I will be hoarding soon. I'm getting close to a point where all my raid teams are going to be blue. So then that's it. I hoard for the new characters. What about you, Valley? What do you make of that news by him that we're going to be stuck at ISO blue 3 for quite some time?
Yeah, I feel that's a positive, because I feel a lot of the fear of the community was, oh, what is the requirements for Doom, or what the Doom 2? Is it going to be ISO 8 level blue level 4 or 5? So I think that's a little bit reassuring that I guess the max is going to be as 3. But yeah, I had some different things stand out. I wasn't focused on gameplay with that.
with that
as much when I was thinking of it.
Well, let me, before we move to some of that other stuff, I do want to ask, Mobile Gamer just mentioned to go bio. He thinks there'll be a different bio solution. I asked him specifically, Cerebro, are there going to be some bio characters in the way? And the reason I did is I got a lot of questions on that. He had a very weird reaction, like some weird facial expressions. What did you guys make of that? What did you think of that, Valley?
There was a lot of weird reactions in that video. It seemed like he was very unaware of a lot of the issues that the community was aware of. It's like the Doom raid. The one of the things that he was talking about was he was unaware that people were going up the middle of that strategy. Yeah. We all thought that they played a lot more than they did, and they knew all the little intricate strategies that they were. I think it was some of the tinfoil hat theories is, they're trying to ruin this strategy. They could make more money. He honestly seemed like, I didn't know you guys were doing that. What are you? Where did this come from? So I think some of the disconnect and some of the facial expressions, it was indicators of how much they actually playing this game, and that was a little eye opening for me as well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I did think there was a number of times, certainly not having, he didn't know about the blue T2 ability mats being an issue for mid-game players when they move on from Ultima 6. There was a few times when I had a raised eyebrow where I'm like, wow, you didn't know that or this or that, clearly not watching a lot of content. I did get the sense, my read of his facial expressions, by the way, was that we were going to get something coming in bio. Yeah. So that was was that yours, Mobile Gamer? I was your...
Well, he answered the question in a way is that whenever there's a problem in this game, we're going to introduce a solution later. Mm-hmm. It kind of goes to the I've very sarcastically said that they create problems to sell solutions. Whether that's artificial scarcity and it's the part of their frustration marketing plan. But yeah, he basically said, that's happening. Is that if there's a problem in game, they're going to be selling us a solution in the future.
No, one thing he didn't address, and I'd be interested, Valley, in your thoughts on it, is he didn't address it as well as I would have liked, is this stuff about where I showed him people talking about how they're upset that there's been individual goals and alliance goals in the past. Mm. And now they're stuck behind requiring an alliance to advance their individual goals as a player, and it's frustrating. He didn't have a lot to say other than we're talking about it. He did say, I'm listening to you. I heard it. I actually forced him to sit there while I read some of these just so to show the players.
That was good.
I did that purposely because I wanted him to sit there and hear what these players are saying. What did you make of his sort of his very carefully worded response?
Again, it just goes to show that they're not really playing this game. I mean, one of the big things that started breaking up alliances all the way back was when they did the no heals for the Greek raids. That you're not able to core it up if you don't have the collection power at that point to keep up with the rest of your alliance. Mm-hmm. So that is when it started. Then we had the Silver Surfer milestones. I think he seemed like he was aware of that, but it did seem a lot more surprising than I would have suspected. And now we there's another issue that I'm forgetting, but now we're going to get this main issue here with the with needing Gear 16 to get into Dark Dimension 5. So relying on all these other alliances, I don't really understand what they're trying to do, because with alliances, one of the reasons that a lot of people are playing is to not let their alliances down. But if we're severing those relationships because we're chasing Dark Dimension 5, you're going to be moving alliances and people that you don't even know. And I don't know if that's beneficial to make it alliances break up. And I just don't think they understand what this is going to do and how competitive the players are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know Mobile Gamer, you've talked a lot about this issue. I'm curious, do you think there's going to be some sort of response from Scopely on this one, or Boundless, whatever they are?
I'm not sure. Here's the thing is there's definitely people that are playing casual alliances and they're playing with their real world friends, and there's some people that are serious and some people that are not. And now the individual roster progression is going to be tended specifically. The primary source of the teal gear is going to be your access to your access to your personal progression is dependent on your alliance right now. I have a very different viewpoint when it comes to alliances. I don't know. We have a different, and I have very specific suggestions for people. When getting into alliances, you want to be in alliance with a similar culture, maybe even similar time zones, similar level of sweatiness, like what I mean by sweating is some people are tryhards, right?
Yep.
And you if you're casual, I tell you, you don't. And for me, I want to be in the middle of my alliance. I don't want to be carrying people, and I don't want to be carried. Now, I've been in both places on both sides, and I feel best in the middle, right? And so and I know that people have like really strong friends with people in their alliances, but I got to tell you something. When I was first introduced to mobile gaming and alliances was back in 2015. The game I was playing at the time was Marvel Contest of Champions, and the parent company was Kabam, which is a predecessor to all these Foxneck Scopely people. They all worked for Kabam back in the day, right?
Huh. I didn't know that.
And they were doing an investor relations meeting, and this is not news to you. This is not news to Valley. This is not news to, but it was news to me back then, where their chief financial officer was bragging about their new alliance system that was basically going to force people to spend because they're going to be the people in their alliance are going to be put into a position where they see how that they're letting their alliance mates down, and they're going to. The guy was bragging to investors about this. And it really kind of made me take a step back and said, okay, do I want to develop heavy relationships with people where they're basically, these relationships and these friendships with people, the company's going to exploit those friendships to get me to spend money. I was not down with that plan in Marvel Contest of Champions, and it turns out every game does this, right? And so I have a very if I've been in an alliance with you, I'm pretty distant, and that is the reason for that, because I know that the purpose of the alliance is to get me to spend money, and I want to kind of separate that out. And I kind of want to be in the alliance that makes the most sense for me, and it's more business than friends, because I know that can be exploited, and the developers are actively trying to exploit these relationships. So I think being in the middle, being in the right alliance that has the same level of engagement, same level of goals, and it's not about having personal friends. It's not for me. And so that's my approach to alliances.
Wow. Val, you've changed alliances pretty recently. What is your take on this?
Yeah, the alliance I'm going is casual and war. We're still going hard in the raids, so hopefully we're still able to accomplish some of this stuff. But it doesn't feel good, I want my personal goals in this game to be a little separate from the alliance. And if someone is not playing as hard as I am, or if they're playing harder than I am, and I'm feeling bad because I'm not keeping up with them, or I want it to be similar. So it makes it weird, and it makes it me forced to have to play with people that are similar levels instead of people that I've been playing with, for a little while. I'm gonna have to go to players with the similar levels, because it's gonna hurt my progress in DD5 and my personal account, and I don't know, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is one where the irony to be is there's a lot of times Scopely makes decisions that are bad for the players, but I could totally understand how they're good for their pocketbook. Okay,
This might be bad for them. This might be bad for them, right, because if they're forcing people to make a decision and split up alliances, that bond is broken.
Correct.
And this is actually probably counterproductive for Scopely's end results, because sometimes players creating scarcity on some product fuels revenue and everybody feels bad, but they're trying to make money. This might not be good for anybody.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think this was short-sighted. He seemed surprised when you mentioned this stuff to him, Phil. He was, oh, really? Our alliance is going to break up for this? He seemed surprised for that. He didn't. I don't think this was some master plan of this. I think this is just kind of like a lot of things slipped through the cracks. They didn't take into account every single thing that would be affected by this decision.
I don't know. I think they're sneaking this idea to us slowly. You mentioned it. This started earlier. There's other, Silver Surfer, the milestones, right? Doom 1, now Doom 2. So it's definitely it's an idea that where the game to play the game min-max to optimally requires you to be in an alliance that is you're playing with people of similar styles, right? This casual idea that there's a 20 million player playing with a 9 million player carrying a 1 million player might be a thing of the past. They're moving us away from that idea.
I mean, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, I think they want us to be in alliances. They want us to create that bond. This creating this much of a bond and making it so that our individual goals are not with this alliance goals and then switching up. I don't think they foresee what the ramifications are of the alliances breaking up over that. But yes, I think it is a definite plan that they want alliances and you be tied to these 23 other people to exactly do what you said, make you feel bad because you have to spend and be more competitive than you normally would.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think in the short run, because there's a lot of alliances where half the alliance can do Doom Raid and half of them really can't. They want to be in U7. They're going to break up, and some of those people are not going to keep playing the game. And I also think one question I put to him, which was from actually a captain in my alliance. I thought it was such a thoughtful question I hadn't considered. Is he's like, have they thought about how this is going to affect people within an alliance trying to fight over nodes? Like if I'm racing in DD5 against you, or I'm trying to get and it relies on me getting the boss nodes versus you to get more teal gear, like it could actually hurt us within an alliance because we're sitting here fighting over stuff. I have people in my alliance now who are like, don't come to my lane because I want a little more blue ISO. I'm like, fine, man. I'll be in a different. I don't care. I don't care about it at this stage of the things. But like, I could see that being an issue. I really could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've mitigated that in the past, and I want to offer a helpful suggestion to someone's alliance where let's say there's 12 people that are ready for Doom Raid and 12 people aren't, like the analogy you said right there earlier, where some people are ready, some alliance mergers and alliance clusters are effective at mitigating some of that problem. If there's two alliances that are having the same problem, there's things called mergers, right? Where the 12 people can move up and the other 12 people, and then 24 people, the top 12 of each can go together. And, this is a thing. And it's one of the advantages, and it's probably the sole reason why clusters were formed, is so that people can bounce between alliances and still maintain some of those bonds and still be in the same cluster with some of your friends.
Yeah, that's right. I started this game in a kind of a beginner's cluster and moved up quicker than some, and still was in touch with all my friends. I think that's actually one of the better things in the game. So I do hope that happens. I will say one question that I got from some folks I didn't know what the answer is. If you're thinking of quitting the game, does this change anything for you? If you're thinking, because we're having an exodus right now from Marvel Strike Force, you've talked about this, Mobile Gamer. Yeah. I'm curious. Well, first of all, Valley, what do you think in terms of, does this change any? Does this blog post and the aftermath, the interview, does this change anything?
I was waiting for this. I was not having fun. This doesn't change anything in the short term, but it gives me something to look forward to in the medium term. And one of the things that they did say, they're very conservative with things. They want to hear feedback, and I think that makes them to be a little too conservative with a few of the releases, some of the resources that they do, because I don't think they like nerfing things. So instead of doing what they think is the correct amount of resources that we need, they give us less purposefully, expecting us to complain. I mean, he even mentioned that in one of the interview that, like, oh, is this at the level it's supposed to be? No, it's not. Oh, let's bring it up to the level it should be.
Right.
That was very, very telling about that.
Yeah.
So they do things like that on purpose, and we do need to complain and all that. But it does give me a little more hope, with the grand tournament coming, with that some of our QA, some of our pain plays have been listened to. It does make, and I think them being so out of touch that was revealed in your interview, I think that also gives me hope because, what can we do to make them in touch? What can we do to make them aware? Instead of they know all our pain points and they're not adjusting, they don't know it. Right. So what can we do as a community to get them to realize that a little better if we want this game to be good? So I think both of the blog and the interview did give me hope.
And what about you, Mobile Gamer? What do you think?
Okay, so like speaking for other people is kind of strange, but I can only speak for myself. And did this blog post change anything for me? And I'm going to say something, but I'm going to explain why. It absolutely did. This grand arena mode may not be for everybody, but I'm gonna just put this out here. It's a content creator's dream. The grand arena mode. And so that is not necessarily from a player's point of view, but that's from me as a content creator. I've played a game where I could make content around that mode, and I had a lot. It was my sole enjoyment in that game. And for them to suggest that they're going to bring something to the game like that leads me to be very optimistic and hopeful for the long-term future of this game. That being said, will they do it correctly? I don't know. Will it happen in a timely manner? I don't know. Will they create a bastardized, horrible version of that game? I don't know. But I'm at least more optimistic about where this game is going to be 2-3 years from now than I was a week ago.
I will tell you, I had a similar reaction from a slightly different perspective. This was actually a very positive roadmap for me.
Yeah.
Because first of all, my favorite part of the game was racing in DD4. I can't wait to race in DD5. I'm going to be streaming and I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I love solving problems and puzzles and trying and pushing for the first for everything. So I love that. And like you said, I love Grand Arena. I play it in Galaxy Heroes. I love Grand Arena. I can't wait to do Grand Tournament. Can't wait to face MobileGamer via ValleyFlyin.
Yeah.
We have our big battle in Grand Tournament. I'm going to love that. I'm going to love that stuff. Oh, it's going to be fun, man. We're going to have a blast in it. So I'm excited about that stuff. And for me personally, this is giving me some new content to be excited about, look forward to. Well, hey guys, we had some great discussion here. We also had totally different, like really wildly different discussions in Mobile Gamers channel and in ValleyFlyin channel. I'm going to link those videos below. Thank you guys. Please check out their content. Very, very exciting, interesting perspectives on the game. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. I'm going to send you the link because I know you're